Power crowns the head, but fear lives in the mind. Behind glittering thrones and towering palaces, some of history's greatest monarchs lived by invisible rules, haunted not by enemies, but by omens, symbols, and strange beliefs that controlled their every move. This isn't just history. This is what happens when kings and queens trust superstition more than science. Let's begin in Russia, with a queen who ruled like a storm. Catherine the Great commanded armies, reshaped borders, and ruled an empire stretching from Europe to Asia. But she would not step outside her chambers without consulting her court astrologers. Her daily schedule revolved around horoscopes and cosmic signs. If a messenger arrived on an unlucky day, she refused to read his news. Entire diplomatic meetings were rescheduled because the stars weren't aligned. Imagine the fate of nations paused because of planets. Now cross to France, where fear wore silk stockings. King Louis XIV, the Sun King himself, lived bathed in gold and terror. He was convinced witches stalked him. If he fell ill, he blamed dark magic. If his mood soured, he suspected curses. He wore protective charms beneath his royal clothes and demanded daily rituals to cleanse his presence of invisible threats. While nobles bowed to his power, the king was secretly bowing to superstition. Then came England's most nervous ruler, King James I. He was obsessed with witchcraft, not as a myth, but as absolute truth. He personally interrogated accused witches. He wrote books on demonology. He slept in rooms sealed against spirits. Storms, witchcraft, good harvest, God's mercy. Everything was supernatural. His paranoia helped ignite witch trials that would ruin thousands, proof that fear in a king can become law for a nation. But superstition isn't always dark. In China, Emperor Qin Shi Huang, the man who unified China, feared death more than anything. He spent his reign searching for immortality. He drank potions made of mercury. He sent ships into the unknown seas looking for eternal life. Instead of finding forever, he poisoned himself to death by trying to escape it. Powerful, rich, untouchable, still terrified of disappearing. Now, let's talk about numbers. In Germany, Kaiser Wilhelm II refused to act, travel, or sign documents on unlucky dates. Entire military operations were delayed because of omens. Even as cannons waited, the calendar ruled. And in Japan, Emperor Meiji feared mirrors. He believed reflections could trap souls. Palace mirrors were covered. Servants faced away from them. An empire built on discipline, ruled by a man afraid of glass. Across continents and centuries, one truth stares back. Crowns do not erase fear. Power does not silence anxiety. And superstition wears no uniform. Kings ruled armies, but lost sleep over shadows. Queens commanded nations, but consulted stars. So what does this reveal? That history isn't controlled by strength alone. Sometimes it bends to whispers. Sometimes it kneels to chance. Sometimes it obeys fear in silk gloves. And the strangest part, the more powerful the monarch, the more they feared what couldn't be seen. Because when you rule millions, the idea of losing control becomes terrifying. They defeated enemies, but never escaped dread. So the next time you hear about a royal decree, a war, or a vanished dynasty, ask yourself, was it strategy or superstition? And if you enjoyed this strange walk through the minds of royalty, subscribe, because history doesn't just whisper. Sometimes it confesses.